Hey, tensions, by the way, are still high at the U.S.-Mexico border. U.S. authorities, in fact, firing tear gas at migrants from the caravan after the migrants tried to rush the border. I want to bring in Nelson Balido. He's a Border and Commerce Security Council president. Nelson, these images are obviously always unnerving. They seem to heighten the anxiety and the anger, by the way, in this country on both sides. Where are we right now with respect to the border?
Good morning, Charles, and Happy New Year. I'll tell you that safety is first for the Border Patrol. These folks that are rushing the border are two types. Those that don't want to wait in line to seek asylum, or certainly the other ones that would never qualify for asylum that want to rush the border and take advantage of the situation. I'll tell you, the Border Patrols save hundreds of lives all over the border from San Diego to Brownsville on a daily basis. Unfortunately, those are the things that are not highlighted.
So, the job, we know that the job already is really tough, and it feels like, of course, public opinion, at least the media, has sort of been very negative with respect to Border Patrol and ICE agents. And I just want to know from you, share with the audience, just the average man and woman down there trying to do their jobs, just how much more difficult has it become as they're under day-to-day scrutiny.
And that is difficult because you start second-guessing yourself when you have all these investigations and all this media and all this hype around things, right? All these people are trained to do is protect our borders, save lives, and keep people safe on both sides of the border. There's no conspiracy out to get somebody or hurt someone. There's no injuries when these tear gas, when they do that. All they're doing is saying, hey, stand back, don't rush us, don't throw rocks at the people, right, at those border enforcers, and just get in line. And these are things that are happening all over the border, not just in Tijuana, right, that the Border Patrol experiences. And hats off to those guys because they're out there saving lives, going out there doing our job, keeping us safe, and we got to give them the credit that unfortunately they don't get it enough of.
They certainly don't get enough of it. I know you're watching the events at the White House closely. Nancy Pelosi's countering her first offer as House Speaker. I would think is insulting. It's even less money for a border wall. Everyone's hoping we can get some resolution here. How would you like to see this turn out? To reopen the government, what concessions do you want to see both sides possibly make?
Well, this has become a political hot potato, right? We need to fund the border. We need to fund border security. We need to fund wall, technologies that go on the wall, the areas that may not get a fence or a physical barrier. The bottom line here is technology, and it's become political football. I think they need to fund the border. They need to look at other ways to pressure the Mexican government and certainly the Central American government to discourage this massive migration of people, which is simply unsustainable. If they want to save lives like they say they do, because you hear Beto O'Rourke and Joaquin Castro, lambasting our Border Patrol for deaths on the border. Can you imagine what's going to happen if they don't do and change the laws when it comes summertime? They need to do something now to ensure that doesn't happen in the future again.
Yeah, it's so sad. I mean, listen, we know that America's a beacon, and everyone born here, we were blessed. So certainly, if we weren't born in this country, we would all be trying to find a way, I think, to get here. But having said that, it's an arduous, dangerous, terrible journey, and to bring children along is obviously an act of desperation. But I feel like these guys are saying that the coyotes, the deaths that happen with them, and some of these the drug cartels, they're overlooking this, and to a degree, I think they're actually emboldening, people to make these dangerous trips.
That's absolutely right. By not using tools to discourage these trips, the recruitment efforts in Central America, a lot of these people that make the plight are lied to. They're said, hey, you're going to go to the border, you're going to claim asylum. They tell them what they're going to do. They say it's going to be very easy. That's not the case. These people get assaulted, they get raped, they get extorted. Some of them never make it to the border. All the deaths that happen that we never even hear about. The campaign that these cartels and organized crimes have in central and south part of Mexico are unprecedented. We need to do something about that. We need to get some of these nonprofit organizations that so-called want to help to really start feeding the truth in these people and what happens when you get to the U.S. border.
Nelson, thank you very much.
Charles, thank you.
Happy New Year. I know it's a tough job. We appreciate you sharing your own real experiences with us. Thanks.
Thanks, Charles.